All right, if you're a Pfizer colleague, there's a really good chance you have either seen or heard about the Pfizer Supplemental Savings Plan, the PSSP. And if you have heard of it, you're probably wondering, what the heck is it? How do I get involved? Does it make sense for me? And if you're asking yourself those questions, then this video is for you. My name is Brennan. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the owner of Decima Wealth Consulting, and we work with a large number of Pfizer colleagues, either in retirement or preparing for retirement. And our goal is to help you understand how this part of the benefits package fits into the broader picture to help you make a great decision for your household. So let's get started. What is the PSSP? In a nutshell, it is a deferred compensation plan. Well, what the heck is a deferred compensation plan? A deferred compensation plan is a plan that kicks in once your 401k has been maxed out. Now, there's two ways to max out the 401k. Either you've put the IRS limit in for contributions, or you've hit an income limit. So in 2025, that income limit is $350,000. Well, if you've hit those limits, Pfizer has created a plan for their higher earning individuals to continue to save on a pre-tax basis once you've hit those limits. So that is really, really powerful. If you're a high income earner and you're in a higher tax bracket, the 401k caps you out at a level that most likely is underfunding your retirement, right? So the PSSP allows you to continue to fund your retirement on a pre-tax basis, which allows you to get more money into retirement accounts, compound quicker, and also keep getting Pfizer match on those contributions. So really, really effective way to grow for retirement by using the PSSP. Now, the PSSP, it is not for everyone. So there's a couple things that we need to consider. So who is it for? It is for high earner individuals, so executives making at least $350,000. It's for individuals that are looking to continue to save more on a pre-tax basis above and beyond the 401k limits. And it's also for individuals that are comfortable giving up a little bit of flexibility, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. So as we think about high earning individuals, I have a large number of Pfizer colleagues that come to me that say, hey, well, what is the 350 made up of? So key consideration number one, it doesn't include your long-term incentives. So it doesn't include the TSRUs, the performance, or the restricted stock, right? It is your salary and your GPP. So if your salary and your GPP are above 350, once you hit that level, your savings will then go into the PSSP. So a question I always get is, well, hey, I didn't make 350 in salary and GPP, but I had money go into the PSSP. How did that happen? Great question. So the income limit is based off employee eligibility, but that doesn't mean that Pfizer does not put money into the PSSP. So let's say you and Pfizer max out the contributions to your 401k. Well, Pfizer still offers the RSC, and that can be anywhere between 5 and 9%. Well, if you're eligible for an RSC contribution and your 401k is capped out for IRS limits, Pfizer will put that contribution into a PSSP for you. So it's employer contributions, not employee. So that's the first way money goes into a PSSP if you're under those limits. The second way money can make its way into a PSSP if you're under $350,000 is in the plan documents. Pfizer says if your expected excess earnings are above the IRC limit. So how do they calculate expected excess earnings? A lot of my clients refer to that as the trigger, the PSSP trigger. So the PSSP trigger, we have another video. If you're wondering how you can calculate your trigger, you can either schedule an appointment with us or see our other video. But the PSSP trigger looks at whatever the annual limit is for the 401k and whatever your contribution percentage is on December 31st. And there's a formula I show you in another video that gives you what your trigger is. And if your earnings go above that trigger, Pfizer starts pumping your contributions into the PSSP. So that's the other way money can get in there, even if you're below 350. So, all right, we've determined, hey, this is something that interests me. I want to do it. What should I consider? So the first thing to consider is liquidity. So if you enroll in the PSSP and you decide, hey, I want to save above and beyond those 401k limits, you put in a contribution amount. That contribution amount is irrevocable until the next open enrollment period. So if open enrollment is now, you determine you want to put 10% in, you cannot change that PSSP contribution until next year's open enrollment, 2026's open enrollment. So that's consideration number one. Consideration number two is the payouts. So this is a really, really important component of deferred comp. So with your 401k, there are so many options when you leave the company. You can set up installments, you can withdraw as you need it, you can take the whole thing, you can roll it over to another employer's plan, you can roll it over to an IRA. So you got all these options with the 401k, right? PSSP, that's not the case. You determine how the payouts are going to occur down the road at the time of enrollment. So the default is a lump sum, and that lump sum will pay out either when you if you've left the company, it's either the January after you've left the company, or if you're younger than 55, it's the January after you turn 55, right? Now you do have the option of installments. You can do 2-year installments all the way up to 20-year installments. So this is a really, really important planning piece that needs to be thought of carefully before enrolling for a couple reasons. One, if your default is set as lump sum and you contribute for a prolonged period, that lump sum can get really big as it grows and compounds over time. And if all of that pays out at once, you've defeated the benefit of the deferred comp, because you can create this ticking tax time bomb the year after you retire, right? So no one wants that. So that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider with payouts is if you decide you want to change them, you can make a change, but there's two factors to that change. The first is the change needs to be made at least 12 months before you depart the company. Well, in theory, that sounds fine, but there's been a ton of layoffs and special separation events over the last few years. So a lot of people we work with, they didn't realize that this was going to pay out until they got the separation letter, right? The severance letter. They don't have the ability to change it. The separation letter is not for 13 months down the road, right? So really important to think about the payouts in advance. The second is if you do make a change and you have at least 12 months, that first payout is pushed back at least 5 years. So that's 5 years you don't have access to it if you make a change. That's really, really important. The third thing to consider with payouts is taxation. So with the supplemental savings plan, taxes are owed in the state that is earned if the installments are less than 10 years. So let's say you do a lump sum or 2-year installments, 5-year installments, and you're a Connecticut resident or a New York resident and you move to Florida. Well, you're still going to pay New York or Connecticut state income tax on those installment payments, even though you're a Florida resident in retirement. How do we get around that? If the installments are 10 to 20 years long, any installments greater than 10 years, the state tax is owed in the state you reside, not the state it was earned. So in the same example, Florida doesn't have a state income tax, 10-year installment, you're not paying Connecticut or New York on the PSSP payouts. So again, really, really important to think about those payouts. And the final consideration is just that it is an unfunded plan. So with the 401k, those dollars you put in are yours if you leave. It is a separate balance sheet item from Pfizer. With the PSSP, that is not the case. It is an unfunded trust. So the only other consideration to be aware of is in the unlikely event that Pfizer goes bankrupt before you get your money, you would be a creditor of the company. That's a big difference from the 401k. If Pfizer goes bankrupt, you can take your 401k, you're not a creditor, right? It's yours. PSSP, Pfizer goes bankrupt, you are submitting a claim as a creditor of the company, hoping you receive that money. So again, unlikely, but something to be aware of with deferred compensation. So again, this is a really, really powerful tool. This is exactly what we do here is we help people do accumulation and distribution planning to help them lower taxes both now and in retirement. So if you find this helpful, subscribe. If you'd like to set up a meeting, visit us, www.decimawealth.com. I hope this was helpful and have a great day.